Okay, I see the clock has passed 10, so I think we're ready to start. Welcome everyone to our live launch webinar for XLSTAT, and thank you for joining us for today's event. My name is Torgrim Sandvold, and I'm the product manager for our data analysis software here at Alfasoft's Norwegian office close to Oslo. As you might know, Alfasoft is a provider of scientific software and development tools in Europe, and I'm extra excited and happy today as I can announce that Lumivero has chosen Alfasoft as a partner for their statistics and data analysis solution XLSTAT. We, Alfasoft, has a long history with Lumivero, and I think for over 10 years now, actually. And the quality data analysis software Envivo and the reference management software Citavi has been two of our most popular software solutions for many years. So hopefully XLSTAT will also be a strong and popular product for our customers. Today's webinar is titled Statistical Analysis with XLSTAT and will be given by Valentine Bartkowiak, from Lumivero. But before we start, just a little housekeeping. If you have any question during the presentation, please type them into the chat panel in the GoToWebinar panel on your right. We will try to answer them during the presentation and hopefully have time for questions at the end. You will all be muted during the presentation to avoid any audio problems. And please note that we will be recording this webinar, and both the recording and questions from this session will be answered and made available to you afterwards. We will send you an email with a link to the webpage with the resources as soon as we have published them on our website. So, without further ado, I will turn the screen over to you, Valentine. Are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, Torgrim.
Great. So here is your screen, Valentine.
Yes.
Great. I can see your screen.
You can see it. Okay. All right.
Yeah, and you're perfect. Your audio is perfect also. So best of wishes and good luck with your presentation, Valentine.
Thank you, Torgrim. So hello, everyone. I'll be the webinar speaker today. As Torgrim mentioned, feel free to ask any questions during the presentation. We'll do our best to answer them interactively during the presentation. And if not, they can be answered during the Q&A session at the end. So a quick outline of this presentation. We're going to do a quick overview of XLSTAT, show you how you can get started with XLSTAT analyses. I'll present some of the key solutions that XLSTAT provides. And we'll also see some key learning resources as well as some XLSTAT tips together so that you can make the most out of your XLSTAT experience. Obviously, I'm going to demonstrate the software also. So if you have, I'll just start. So just a quick overview. XLSTAT is an Excel add-in since 1993. It's quite powerful because it runs with C++ computations. We have very efficient support, free learning resources, whether it's on YouTube or with online tutorials. We also have a lot of useful in-app resources. It's available on Windows and on Mac. And we have, this one's actually not up to date, but we have more than 300 statistical functions in our software, as well as a gateway to R, which is a fantastic statistical programming language that is widely used. And there's a great gateway that can enable you to use some R code inside of XLSTAT using the user friendliness of the software. So here I'm just going to jump in the software to show you a quick overview of the ribbon. So as I mentioned, this is in Excel. So let me. This is an Excel. You would have this little tab with all the XLSTAT features in it, and here you would have the menu, which enables you to customize your the options, which will be very useful when you want to customize your reports or memorize the configurations, some configurations during the session, memorize some data configuration as well. You would have the help in-app documentation, which is also very helpful when you need to understand the dialog boxes options when you're configuring an analysis. You have the My Assistant and some other resources that we'll talk about later for learning how to use to learn how to use XLSTAT. Here there's a nice little search bar to search for one of the many features that you might not find immediately while going through these submenus, and you can also view all the recent features that you've been using. Just a quick note on these quick tools. I'll show you how it's used later, but this is also a very nice tool to help you color code some tables and also navigate through your reports, which can be quite long sometimes because they're very complete. And yeah, now you have all the basic features and basic plus features which are here. These will enable you to discover, explain, predict your data, as well as test new hypotheses. You also have the machine learning, some machine learning features that are here. And all the advanced features, you will be able to find them in the advanced features submenu. But one way to make the most out of this ribbon would be to go to the options, and I'll show you this to you immediately, and use the focus modes. Let's say I'm a sensory analyst, and I don't want to go into this advanced features button to have my my most used features. I would just change the focus to sensory, and I would have the sensory button right here with some menus that categorize all the features in a nice way. So yeah, this is just another thing that makes it very user friendly to use. The R gateway is right here, by the way, and now I'll just go back to the slides and show you what's next. So now to get started with XLSTAT, there's a couple of ways you can start importing your data. So because it's an Excel add-in, and I'll show this to you in the software right after, there's several ways that you can import your data. You can whether open your Excel files, import your CSV as well, or import another format. Those can be SPSS projects like SAV files. To read those, you will need to use the R gateway with this foreign file format feature that would enable you to open all sorts of different files format. And the other way of doing it would be another way of doing it would be to import large data volumes using the file import button in any of the dialog boxes. So this is when you want to overcome the Excel limit, which is about 1 million rows, I guess. And to do it, you can always import your CSV files using this this feature. I'll go real quick over these. So to structure your data, you have two ways to do it. The regular way with the variables in columns and observations in rows. So this is the regular tabular format that you might already be familiar with. And the second way would be to use the transposed version of it. So you would have the variables in rows and the observations in columns. So to be able to analyze these transposed structure, you would have to make sure that in the dialog box this arrow is horizontal. But I'll show you where it is in the software right after. Then there are also several ways you can select your data. I'll show this in detail in the software. You can use your mouse, or you can also use the list mode and select the variable names. So these two options are both good. Depending on you might choose one or the other depending on whether you have a lot of columns to select or not. Then to customize your report, maybe I'll go through these ones in more details in the live presentation of the software. But you can always display charts on separate sheets, select different chart styles. As I mentioned, you can color code matrices and define the number of decimals or display test interpretations. Those are all useful helps that you can find in the options and in the magic stick that I showed you earlier, the quick tools. And again, because we are in Excel, do remember that those charts are all Excel charts. So you can always customize them as you would with any Excel chart. So now I'll just jump back to the software, to Excel.
Valentin, can I interrupt you just with a short question?
Sure.
There's a question. The XLSTAT R feature, is that a feature in all the additions or solutions of XLSTAT?
So the XLSTAT R gateway comes in all the solutions starting from Basic Plus. So the only solution that doesn't have the R gateway will be the basic solution.
Okay, thank you. Good to know.
All right, so now let's imagine I had this data set, which is a data set in which 15 assessors, which are skiers, wanted to evaluate, had to evaluate 14 different ski shoes over 6 descriptors, and we want to analyze this data using simple descriptive statistics first. So what we could do would be to go to the describing data sub-menu. We would go to descriptive statistics, and here is how a dialog box looks like. You would have a general tab, an option tab, and you could most of the time you'll have the outputs and charts tab as well. There are also some other tabs that you can encounter, like the missing data tab or the prediction tabs if you are using a predictive model. Then to select your data, as I mentioned, you have several ways of doing it. So you can whether use the mouse in the default mode. Here let's say I want to analyze one quantitative variable. I would analyze, let's say, the smoothness, and I want to analyze it for each product. So I'm going to set my subsamples as the product column. And again, as I mentioned, you also have the choice to use the list mode, which can be activated by clicking here, and then you can just select with the names of the columns. So here I would select product and smoothness again. You would have some options that you can always tweak if you want, but please bear in mind that the default configurations are already ready to use. You can and then it will just be tweaking to have the outputs that you really want. But default configurations always give you something. You don't have to configure everything from scratch when you're launching an analysis. So here I'm analyzing and describing a quantitative variable. So those are all the different options that I would have. I'll leave it like this and show you the charts tab. Here I want to, let's say, display a box plot, and I also want to go to the options, and I want to group them all together in the same chart so that they are easier to compare. And I also want to add some colors because I like colors. So now I just have to click OK, and it will generate the report. So I didn't mention it, but you can choose whether you want to display the report in another sheet in a certain range, or you can also ask it to create the report in another workbook. So those are all personal preferences, and it will depend on your needs. So yes.
Valentine,
Here you have yes.
One more question while you're at it. Is it possible to save these customizations, the settings you did?
Yes. Yes, it is possible. So there are several ways of doing it. The configuration is automatically saved in this relaunch button. So if I wanted, I could click. Oh, sorry, I froze. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay,
So it seems
then
like
it's just
the software. Yeah,
it's just Excel. Sorry about this. So there's this replay button that will save the configuration. You also have you would also have another way to save the configuration as a text file, and also you could ask in the options. You could ask the software to save the configurations, and I'll just show this to you. I'm going to kill this because it seems it's not responding anymore. I don't know why.
It seems to always happen when I have a live demonstration. So
yes,
things freeze. I think also it's a problem that you're also presenting via GoToWebinar. It's very resourceful, the presenter software. So
yeah,
it might be that.
So yes. So let's say I wanted to. Now it's going to open XLSTAT again, so it might take maybe 10 seconds, and I'll show you how the relaunch button works. So I just clicked on the relaunch button, and as you can see, it still remembers my configuration. So if I ever happen to just want to be wanting to tweak some of the options, I could go from there and relaunch an analysis very quickly. So another way of doing this would be to go to the options, and if I go to the options, I can also well, I guess it's in data. So I can ask to memorize dialog box entries for the whole session or from one session to the other. I can include data selections, and each time I would relaunch the analysis, it would remember all my dialog box entries so that I don't have to go from scratch again. I'm just going to remove those, to uncheck those, because I don't need them for this presentation.
Yep. Thank you, Valentine.
You're welcome. So yes, this one, as I mentioned, you can. It's an Excel chart, so you can always customize it, add any labels to it. So if I wanted, I could add. Oops, I'm sorry about this. Could add labels. Also change the style. Obviously, I did I did something wrong here, or maybe there were too many labels. I don't know. I can always change the style with the this little menu here to use a custom Excel styles. I don't know why my computer is running slow right now. Maybe it's because of this little little update that it's asking me to do. Sorry about this. So next thing I wanted to show you would be a nice an advanced, more advanced visualization tool that that we could use, which is an advanced scatter plot. So scatter plots are just plotting two quantitative variables against each other. So here, let's say I wanted to plot the invoice amount versus the time spent on site. A way of doing it in a more advanced way would be to color each data points by origin, and also use the height to size the data points. And I'll show you how we can do this to get some nice nice and insightful chart. So I'll just go to visualizing data, and I'll select the scatter plot. Here I'm going to use the list mode, let's say, and I said I wanted to plot invoice amount versus time spent on site. And here I'm going to select the numerical variable that will size the data point. So let's say the height. I was asking for the height, and I want to color by origins. So I'll just select a group and say origins. So here I don't want to change any of the options so far, and I can also customize the colors. I'm not going to do this, and I'm just going to click OK. So here I would have this this scatter plot, which is a little bit better than it's quite better than a regular scatter plot, where you wouldn't have any colors and you wouldn't have any different, you wouldn't see the difference in terms of height. So here, instead of describing two different variables, I'm able to describe 4 different variables for each data points, and I can get some quite insightful information. So here I can say, for example, that people from Leeds, they would spend more time they would spend less time, sorry, and they would spend more money in our shop, right? And they also happen to be taller than people from London and Newcastle. But this is yeah. So this is just another insight you can get from this this scatter plot. All right, I'm jumping back to the presentation, and I'll just show you some more advanced things that XLSTAT also provides. So XLSTAT is divided in like 8 solutions. You have basic, basic plus, and premium, and then several applied 5 applied solutions, right? So so first you have the essential statistical features that you can find in basic and basic plus. And so here are some of the general and essential statistical features you would have. The descriptive statistics, we've already seen them earlier today, but you can also do some very complete principal component analyses. So those are factor analysis. You might or might not be familiar with it, but this is something that is widely used in statistics. You can also do some machine learning using classification and regression trees, perform statistical tests, because when you're a statistician, or when you want to make sure your results and your intuition is valid, and that your results are reliable, you always need to do some sort of statistical testing to make sure that it is statistically significant. And of course, you also have some of the regression regression features, ANOVA, and other tests that are quite used. Then we have one of our biggest solutions, which would be sensometrics, the sensory solution. And this one is very powerful when it comes to help when it comes to sensory data analysis. So let's say I am a sensory analyst and I want to evaluate new recipes. Let's say I'm working at Coca-Cola. I want to know if my new recipes are perceived differently or not by consumers. I could use the sensory solution from XLSTAT and perform any type of analysis, like check all the apply analysis, the kata data analysis feature, penalty analysis. I can also analyze the preference data with preference mapping or other types of features. Then we also have the life sciences solution. So this one will be very useful when it comes to performing laboratory data analysis or also survival analysis. So if you're not familiar with this, it's okay. We have a lot of tutorials in the software, and you might or might not need them. But we cover all these features with online tutorials for the least, and we also have some videos to help you ramp up on these features as well. So one nice feature as well would be the heat map, which helps you with analyzing omics data, and yeah, you'll have a lot more features also. Then we'll have the forecasting solution. The forecasting solution would help you analyze anything that's time series related. So you'd be able to test whether your data is stationary with a homogeneity test. You'd be able to do some descriptive statistics for data analysis with some autocorrelograms and things like this. You can also decompose your time series using some decomposition signal decomposition methods, and more. Then another interesting solution would be the marketing solution, and this one in this one you would have a lot of nice features like word clouds, radar charts. You can also do some pricing analysis with the price sensitivity meter feature that we have. You can also it can also help you decide which products to stress in let's say to put in your supermarket shelves using the turf analysis, for example, to have them to be able to make sure that your products are reaching the most people. I mean, they're reaching the most people. Yes. Also, you can do some conjoint analysis, which is a very famous analysis, a very popular analysis in marketing market research, and a lot more again. Finally, you have the quality control solution, the quality solution. This one will be for manufacturing. Let's say you need to you need to design some experiments as well, and you need to test some regulations, and you would be using the quality solution. I'll just go back before we go to the key resources. I'll go back to our our demonstration, and I'll show you quickly how we can perform radar charts and also word clouds, because those are very visual tools that can help you in any in many of your reports. So the radar charts here, let's say I want to create a radar chart to help visualizing the products each panelist prefers the most. So I already prepared it, but I'll just run the relaunch button to show you quickly. So the radar chart can also take images as inputs. So instead of having variable names or product names, you would have images. So this is also a nice thing you can do. So I'm just selecting here column A, and here I'm selecting my data. So those would be the panelist and the average rating. About the options, I can choose whether to fill them, to group them, and to display the axis values. I'll just click OK. We'll have it all. And yeah, here you have you have the radar chart that looks nice, but you can't see everything because they're all filled right now. You can always select which ones you would like. So it's very interactive, which ones you would like to see. It's very interactive, and yeah, this is the grouped radar charts. Obviously, you can also remove the group variables, and you would have them in separate charts like these. I'll show you quickly how we can perform a word cloud as well. This is a nice feature that we have. So here, let's say I am analyzing some speeches from two persons. Let's say those are presidents or whatever, American presidents maybe. Who knows? And we're going to create a word cloud from these two collection of words. So here I'm just going to type word clouds and select the word cloud. So I can select the term frequencies. Those will be here. I would select the term labels here, and I'll leave it to color them by frequency, and I'll ask it to use a custom color scale. I'll use this one. Oops, I guess I know. All right, and I'll just click OK, and it will generate a word cloud. All right. So here you would have the nice word cloud from the data that I provided, and a feature that I forgot to mention is that you can always export your report to PowerPoint or a Word. I'm going to show this to you real quick. I'm just exporting the figure, and I'll click OK. It will prepare a new PowerPoint with all the elements that I selected. So here, as you can see, I only selected one element of the report because it was just a word cloud, and it just exported it quite quick to Word, so that it's ready to be used for my presentations. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to describe quickly some of the key learning resources that you may use, and then we'll see how to find those from the app, from the software. So you have a lot of learning materials that are all accessible, whether from the app itself or from our help center. So we have 300 plus online tutorials that have been created for each of the. We've created at least one for each of the features that we developed. We have also an in-app help documentation that I mentioned, and the My Assistant as well, which I'll show you in a minute. We also have 500 plus videos on our YouTube channel with some new content every month, and also we deliver webinars at least approximately once per month. Plus, we have a nice customer support and very efficient customer support, as well as training programs. So these are, I'll just show these to you myself, but I'll jump back to the app to show you the My Assistant and some other learning resources. So
Valentin, just before you start, just a
yes.
quick question about the training. Is it both live training and like on demand? So
Yes,
self-paced courses?
It's on-demand live training. We don't have e-learning platforms, not for the moment at least. So it's yes, it's on-demand live training with one of our trainer. Could be me, could be someone else. But yes, we're doing. We can do sensory specific trainings, let's say, or basic solution training. We adapt to the customer's need, to the user's need. Yes.
Okay, thanks. Good to know.
So I was going to show the My Assistant, so the My Assistant is a tool that we developed maybe a year ago, and it's an in-app guide that helps you get started with XLSTAT. So it will help you and teach you how to structure your data, how to import your data, how to launch your first analysis, like descriptive statistics or something like this, or another feature, I can't remember. And you also have the choose the right method. This one is quite interesting because sometimes you just don't know what to do with your data, and you just know what you want to do with your data. And you would answer a few questions in this some menu. I'll just show this immediately, actually. So let's say I wanted to analyze my data. It asked me, what would you like to do? I want to analyze my data, and I want to perform some survival data analysis. Let's say I want to perform the survival analysis, and I'm studying a single event that is that has time data only, and my steps are not necessarily regular. My final goal would be to study survival of one or multiple groups. So I'm just clicking here, and it gives me the two features that might interest me, and that could answer my problem. That could answer my problem. So I can just let's say click on Kaplan-Meier analysis, and here I would have some information about this, as well as about this feature, as well as the online tutorial. So I'm clicking on the tutorial link, and yes, so here is how a tutorial looks like. So you would have the demo file in the top right corner, and you'd see the goal of the tutorial, which is answering a particular question on a data set that has been chosen for the tutorial, and you would have the way you need to configure it to answer the particular question, as well as the main results and how to interpret them. So and so those are basic level tutorials that but sometimes you can do. You also have some more advanced tutorials. Anyway, it helps you interpret and know which are the main results, because sometimes you would have a lot of different tables and a lot of different results on your XLSTAT reports. Imagine you uncheck all the unnecessary tables for your analysis, and here you you can know which ones are the most useful to your analysis. I'll now share with you the third what's in the third submenu. So the run your first analysis, those are just in-app tutorials. Those are in-app tutorials that are separated for each of the different solutions that we have. So basic and basic plus they're merged together, but then you have all the applied solutions that we provide. So let's say now I want to I don't know, I want to perform I'll stay on the no, I'll go into the marketing solution, and let's say I want to do a turf analysis. So I'm going to click on turf, and it will open this in-app tutorial right here. It will tell me that our goal is to determine which product line generates the strongest market share as well as the strongest reach of customers. We aim to choose a line of 5 products out of 27. So as I mentioned earlier, this could be helpful if you are trying to understand which products you need to which product line you need to stress in your supermarket shelves, let's say, for example. So I'll just click on start, and it will tell me how to structure my data, how to select my data. It's a step-by-step guide to help you answer this question using the turf analysis. So here I just clicked OK until I reached the report, and the report is full of comments. So those comments and interpretation help you can navigate through these with these arrows, and it will help you answer the question by analyzing the main results. And once you're done, it will just sum up the analysis. And here, for example, the ideal product line would consist of these 5 products, and they would the total reach would be 70% of the customers that were in the analysis, in the experiment. So yes, now you also have these buttons to go to our YouTube channel, contact our support, or read other tutorials. So yes, this is very helpful tool to help you ramp up on the software. And yeah, another one that I mentioned is the help documentation. So you can, by clicking on the help button, you can access these 3 buttons. I was talking about the help documentation. We've already seen the online tutorials. So the help documentation is just an in-app help documentation on any of the features that we have. So let's say I need to analyze. I need to use a machine learning model. I want to use the k-nearest neighbors, which is a popular machine learning model used for classification or regression. Here I would have some theory, and then so this is when you want to know what are the algorithms that are used for each features. You can always go to this help documentation, and you would also have, okay, this one's quite long. You would also have a description of each of the options that you have in the dialog box, and what to select in each of these options, all the choices that you have. And yes, this is also a very helpful documentation. Now we're almost done. I just wanted to share a few tips that on XLSTAT. So with XLSTAT, there are a couple of things that you can do. You can generate random numbers. So let's say you want to test you want to test a feature, or I don't know, you can always generate random numbers using a theoretical distribution, or you can also use an empirical distribution by fitting your data. You can also anonymize your data. This is also helpful when let's say you need to contact support, but you're not sure you can share your data. Then you can always anonymize it so that you can share it. You can make sure you can share it to the support team for some help, statistical help. You can also define the NAs as missing values. So you need to, by default it will ask you to, by default XLSTAT will consider empty cells as missing data, but you can also tell XLSTAT to consider other characters or other strings as missing values. You can always you can also remove text values from quantitative data using one of our features. Select data from different sheets when you're configuring a dialog box. As we've seen, you can memorize data selections. You can also use numerical variables as your labels, and run your analysis on filtered data. This can be useful when you don't have a group variable in your data yet, and you want to filter over several variables and perform your analysis only on these on a subset of your data. I forgot to show it today, but we have these top of report and end of report navigating tools. When the report starts to get long, those are very useful to navigate quickly to one end or the other of the report. Relaunch, the relaunch button, we've talked about it. Also the export button. We can always display charts on separate sheets. So when you have charts that are difficult to read, sometimes it's better to display them on separate sheets so that they are in bigger format and easier to read. This is a nice feature that you can activate in the options. And oops, sorry. And you can also instantly color code matrices. Like imagine you have a correlation matrix. You can always color code it in the click of a button. XLSTAT functions can for some of them also be used as XLSTAT formulas in Excel, and you can also automate your analyses using VBA. So this I didn't show it, but we have some tutorials on it, and if this is something that interests you, I can always show you how to do this. So now it's time for the questions. So I hope this was helpful. Please feel free to ask any questions that I didn't answer earlier, or any questions that come to mind now. Yeah, I'll be happy to answer.
Thank you, Valentine, for the great presentation. Yeah, I think we have about 10 minutes for questions. I have a few here, but before I will try to switch the screen to my screen. So let's see if I can do it. There you go. Yeah, and to everyone attending, please just, as I said in the start of this webinar, please use the question chat panel on your right to enter any question you would like to have answered. I'm not sure we can answer all of them, but as I said, we have this webinar recorded, and we will answer all the questions and send you an email afterwards, so you get both a link to the recording and also the question and answers. So yeah, about the questions, I don't know if this is a bit advanced. Is it possible to analyze jar data using XLSTAT?
Yes, so jar data, those are just about right data, and this is it's a very common type of data that we can encounter in sensory data analysis. So this will be analyzed using the feature that I called in the presentation penalty analysis. So the penalty analysis is a feature that enables you to analyze jar data, which are data that range from let's say 1 to 3. 1 would be it's not enough salty, let's say. 2 would be it's just about right in terms of salt, and 3 would be it's too salty. So we also provide with this feature a lot of common scales. It's not only 1 to 3. It can also be 1 to 5, 1 to 7, 1 to 9, and it can also be ascending or descending scales. So so that you don't spend much time preparing your data, and you can just jump into the analysis, whatever the format you chose.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, we have one more question here, and I know this is a problem for me. For my data sets, I always have some missing data. So how can we manage missing data in XLSTAT? And do we need to do it prior to the analysis? And please note, Valentine, if you want the screen back, just give me a note.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Maybe you can. Maybe I can get the screen back so that I can show something quickly. There's. Yeah, I would like to have the screen back.
Yeah. Here you go.
Okay. Thank you. So I'll just go back to this one. So here my data set was quite nice. I had no missing values, but obviously you sometimes have holes in it, like here. Sometimes they can be referred to as NAs or something else. So as I mentioned earlier, you have this data options in the XLSTAT options, and you can always check this NA or other ways of considering missing values. I just have to save this, and then it will consider these values as missing values. But now we need to know how to manage them. There's 2 ways. You can whether do it prior to the analysis, just like you asked, Torgrim. So to do so, I would let's say select my quantitative data. I'm just doing this for hot filling right here, and I can whether remove the observation or estimate the missing data using one of these imputation methods. So we have the mean, the nearest neighbor, a specific value. So imagine I wanted to replace all these missing values by 0. I don't know. It could be useful in some cases, maybe in some specific cases. And then I would just click OK, and it would give me the data set with the variable with bold values, with the bold values corresponding to the replaced data. The other way of doing it would be to launch an analysis and to use the missing data option. So let's say here I'm running I don't know, maybe not ANOVA. Sorry about this. Let's say I'm running a linear regression. Here I would have the missing data tab, and this is also very useful because I can choose to remove the observation, not accepting the missing data, etc. I can actually decide to manage my missing data differently at each time I'm launching the analysis. So this is a nice feature, this missing data tab, because you can always change the way you manage your data for each different analysis. You don't have to have two separate data sets, one with let's say zeros, zero values that replace the missing data, and another one where you just remove the missing data. Here you don't have to do this. You can always manage them separately.
Yes, looks good. Thank you for demonstrating that. Yes, I think the time is running out, Valentine. Once again, thank you again, Valentine, for the great presentation, and thank you to everyone for joining us today. As I said, we will be sending you all the recording and questions and answer afterwards as soon as we have published them on our website. But please, if you have any questions, just contact us. Just visit our website at Alfasoft.com or send an email to info@alfasoft.com, and we will gladly help. I think we have to, unfortunately, end the session there, Valentine. Thanks to everyone. Have a nice day.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.